Hello everybody, my name is Connor, and we are here with one of our Store Treasure Cup games. This is the first Store Treasure Cup. I think I have 2 more to be playing in. I did end 2 and 2, so I don't hate how I played, but I definitely wish I played a little better. But we do drop Sindri, and we mill almost no Thriller Bark characters at all, which is unfortunate. And my opponent ends up dropping Garp and whiffing on the Garp, which is really unfortunate. I think they told me later that they sent a lot of good cards to the bottom of their deck. So they end up getting a Sabo off the second Garp and pass turn. So 3 Dawn, we get Gecko, which is good. I'm happy to see Gecko in this matchup, but not really much I feel like I want to do here. I don't want to swing into him because I don't want to help him get to where he needs to get. So I am thinking about dropping Hina to get some bodies on board, but I decide to just play it slow and pass. See if it affects the turn. I was looking this is my mulligan hand that I started with, and I was looking for Sindri and ideally Isho, but we did not see the Isho. And you guys can actually see, speaking of the milling and whatnot, I have a little Kraken token next to me, next to my leader. That is to help me, remind me to mill. And it actually worked. So thank you guys for suggesting that. We end up dropping Kuzan here, drawing a card. We get a Piranha, which is really awesome. I love to see it. And I think Kuzan is going to be a big threat. It's something that I feel like he needs to get rid of, because I think it minuses, I can't remember right now if it's 4 or 5, but it's enough to make Absalom a threat to any of his board. I think except the Gecko, really. No, I mean, I think it helps get Gecko to be, something spicy, but anyways, I digress. So my opponent drops the Hiyori for 2, and he's trying to think about what he wants to put on top. Or actually, I don't think he has to put anything on top, so he just drops Hiyori and takes his life, which is fine. I was worried he was gonna benefit from the Hiyori into a Luffy, into just terrible combo for me. But we kind of just end up taking life. I do feel like I am bricking a lot with this deck, so we end up playing the brand new to search, and we get the Isho, which is exactly what I want. I can see that he has a big hand already, and I'm very happy to see Isho. So we play down Sabo to draw 2 and trash 2, and I think I have a couple of options here. Yeah, so I end up trashing Gecko, which I'm okay with because I have 2 Geckos, and I haven't seen a Hogback though. As I've mentioned, Hogback hates me. It's very unfortunate because I'm a big fan of Hogback. I'm not actually. He's creepy and I don't like him. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of a bummer I don't have Hogback, but I am keeping the other Gecko in my hand. I have no plan to get rid of it. So, yeah, I feel okay letting that Gecko go. So my opponent at, I think, 8 Dawn, I want to say, ends up tapping 5 to hard drop the Sabo, which is absolutely unfortunate. And yeah, I know exactly. I know I'm dropping Isho. I do not. I have no other thoughts. Isho is going down. Isho will help me keep his board size small, as well as with Isho and Kuzan. I think I can really benefit off of just keeping his board small and bringing down the cost of things. So my opponent goes ahead, taps 3. No, they don't. They end up tapping 3 to swing, and I think okay, so I block and Sabo and Absalom. Or I block Sabo and counter out. I thought about taking this one, but I didn't really want to at this point. So we are at 9 Dawn here. So it is the Isho turn that we have dreamed of. I tap 8, and you can see my opponent already knows he's coming. So I end up grabbing the Sabo, and I'm trying to grab this one, and it's a baby Luffy. So I'm like, okay, not the like, that's not the best thing I could have grabbed, but okay. But realistically, grabbing Sabo is actually pretty good, because it makes it so if they don't have a way to recycle that Sabo, it makes it harder for them to play. They need to have, you know, Gecko, I think. I could be wrong. I know I am probably going to be playing with Black Yellow Luffy on the sim at some point, at least, just to get a feeling for how it works. So they go ahead and play down Ivankov. They tap 2, playing out, I think, baby Luffy. Yeah, so they play out baby Luffy, replacing Hiyori. They're doing Luffy things. They are at 2 life, so they can pop. I think they end up, I feel like they end up popping Kuzan, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know I would, which is definitely kind of unfortunate that Kuzan didn't really get the benefit of, you know, Kuzaning, if you will. So yeah, he's making his choice, trying to figure out what he wants to do. He is a 7K leader because he did get that the baby Luffy and the big Luffy off, and he asked to look through my trash, and of course I let him. I don't think there's any reason. I don't think you're supposed to hide that type of stuff from your opponent. I don't even mind. So he ends up popping Kuzan, drawing a card, which is fine by me, honestly. I didn't expect Kuzan to last too much longer, if at all. And he taps 2 and thunderbolts Sabo, and at this point I am sweating bullets. I'm like, okay, like, I don't know what to do here. So we end up getting the Ice Age, and I end up popping Ivankov with it, and I'm feeling pretty confident at this point. This is a bit of an error on my part. I end up swinging because I forget that Sabo is there. I end up swinging a bunch into life, and I'm thinking, like, I was like, okay, I can go for lethal, and then he blocks with Sabo, and I'm like, oh shit, I can't go for lethal. I forgot Sabo was there. But we do get the Sabo off the board, and with 4 on left, it's perfect. I can pretend that I knew that he was gonna block, and yeah, I totally knew that. I totally meant to do that. I was just trying to pop Sabo, and I did. No, that was actually I'm really lucky that he popped Sabo. Although at this point, I think that my opponent will have to. I think he has something to KO his last life or take his last life, so he can get Luffy ability. At this point, I am hoping he doesn't, but knowing Black Yellow Luffy players, he most likely does. But he ends up tapping 8. Yes, I remember this. I remember now. He ends up tapping 8 and dropping the Gecko, and I'm like, oh no, here we go again. So he brings back the Ivankov and the Luffy, which is fine. Ivankov, he trashes his life, and I'm definitely pretty worried. He puts 2 on leader and ends up trashing the Kuzan, and I think he gets baby Luffy and Sabo, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so he gets the Sabo and the baby Luffy, or big Luffy, putting Luffy on top. He ends up swinging. He's a 7K leader at this point, or 8-9. He's 9 now. And then so he ends up passing turn, and I'm like, okay, he doesn't have baby Sabo. I can get rid of Ivankov and swing with Gecko, and he only has, I think, 2 cards in his hand, because Isho putting in the work. So I end up just Ice Aging Ivankov, because I am going to swing. He can't block, so I'm gonna swing. I think I'm torn between swinging 7 and 8. I decide to swing 9. I decide to swing 9, tapping 2, and I discard Kuzan, and I play out my Absalon popping the Ivankov and sending the Ice Ages to the bottom of my deck. So he ends up sending Sabo to the bottom of his life, and with 2 Dawn left, I end up swinging with Isho, and that is game. So I think I played that game very well. I know my opponent was pretty unlucky. He said that he on the first Garp search, he bottom decked a couple Geckos. And then I know he did not find any baby Sabos. It looks like the only baby he found was baby Luffy, which is definitely makes it hard for that deck to perform. But I think I played really well. I'm happy with how I played. And yeah, honestly, if you guys have any feedback, let me know. I mean, yeah, I'm happy with that game. I know Black Yellow Luffy, if you guys are longtime viewers of the channel, you guys know that I struggle with Black Yellow Luffy. So to get a win against a Black Yellow Luffy in a treasure cup is really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked this video, hit that like button down below. It helps me out more than you could ever know. Go ahead and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.